Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And when it comes to EVE Online, I had a pretty relaxed week, I would say, in EVE Online, which is not really a surprise because pretty much the entire week it was a heat wave here in Belgium. Today should be the last day of really bothersome heat, and then tomorrow we should get some rain and then more doable temperatures. But it does mean that I couldn't spend a lot of time intensively playing EVE Online. It was just too warm for that, so I went back to doing what I've been doing for the last couple of months. Actually, a little bit of more preparation. I'm actually at this point, I would say, done with my preparations in MR space because I took down the PI that I had set up there. Everything that I want in the MR Trade Hub is now in the MR Trade Hub, selling a little bit of PI, and our base of operations next to Yona in Esesama in the NPC station there is fully functional. All the ships are there, everything is fully fitted. I could do whatever activity I want in MR space with just one jump clone. In Galente space we're still not entirely done. I still have to set up my new PI planet, looking for which system I'm going to choose. Probably what I'm going to try to do next week, but some of you guys also mentioned perhaps a low-sec system. You know, if it's not too far away, there's definitely options there for better yields, that especially, and then potentially as well some lower taxes. So I'll look into that before I make my final decision. But on the day-to-day gameplay, I still play the game every day, although it was just in small, tiny chunks, I would say, over the last week. We're back into the skilling spree, so we're back out there grabbing a couple of NPC kills, getting some free skill points. That's always nice to have. And then I actually focused on trading in last week, so took a couple trips into Jeddah to take a look at how things were evolving, and I pulled the trigger on quite a few purchases of Tech 2 ships. At least I tried to buy them through buy orders, and almost everything did trigger except for the MR Stealth Bomber. There's like one of the 4 that I wanted to buy that I didn't manage to buy, but overall I am very happy, in part because some of them I'm actually planning to potentially use, like the curse. I managed to grab a really cheap curse there, which is like invulnerable to the directional scanner. So I think in faction warfare, you know, with the changes, that could be an interesting ship to fly there. It's also got some nice, if I'm not mistaken, some nice drone bonuses, which is like what I prefer also for Galente MR ships. So overall, really happy with that purchase. But then I also have a couple of them that I don't even plan to fly, but that are basically investments for the future, kind of aiming at getting a profit by this winter. We'll see, of course, how things evolve, and I'm a little bit dependent in all likeliness on CCP doing something about the pirate faction prices, which could have an impact on Tech 3 prices, and then them just, you know, sort of agreeing with me that at the moment Tech 2 is so low that this is basically also gutting usability of some of the other options like Tech 3 and like pirate faction ships. They're just too expensive compared to the massive bonuses that you can get for Tech 2 ships at the moment. So yeah, we're investing, gambling on CCP doing something about that as well. And other than that, we're again just looking forward to what I'm planning for, of course, in the future, which we know that CCP is planning the update for faction warfare, hoping that the accessibility will go up, which was still the plan last I heard. And then yeah, I'll be ready in Galente space to support the faction of my character, which is of course the Galente themselves. So it's all looking pretty good actually on my part. I would say I'll easily be able to end all of my preparations and to then be actively flying in Galente space by the end of the summer. And then summer should end. I think things should pick up a little bit at that point as well. And if CCP then starts to come out with that story-driven deployment of the expansion, I am basically ready to go. So it's looking really good on the EVE Online front. Now I haven't played another game, but I do want to mention one other thing. That is, of course, that next week a new league for Path of Exile is going to start, the Lake of Calandra, which sounds pretty damn cool so far. I've seen the announcement from GGG where they explain the league mechanic and some of the other changes that they've done. The bad news is that my 2 plant characters, which were generally my go-to, they've been completely gutted. The first one was Pathfinder, so I was planning to use the utility flask usage on on that would then give me HP back as a healing thing, and then you really depend on that getting 7 charges on every hit. Mechanic, which is just gutted. The best you can get now is 3 charges on every hit. That really invalidates that build that I was making around that mechanic. So yeah, that one's out the window. And then the other one is like basically always my backup build, which is the Necromancer. And I always choose the Necromancer because of the +2 to minion gems, which was really the whole scaling of minions worked that way, and because it's a really easy start. And GGG saw that as a problem, and as a result all of that's been nerfed as well. So I'm making new plans. At first I thought I would go another minion build, just taking a look at that, but that's actually not gonna be my second build for the league in all likeliness, because I am going to look at the new Trickster. That new ascendancy does look kinda interesting, and I'm gonna try to play a polymath playstyle. We'll see if I can get it to work, but yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. Basically looking at the Path of Exile League as well, planning a couple of builds, a couple of characters that I want to play, and then next week obviously I'll get started as soon as the league launches as well. And that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.